Though it is possible to wing an interview, it's advisable not to do so, which is why proper interview etiquette encompasses interview preparation. For any interview you are invited to, you should allocate twice the time allocated for the interview towards preparing. For example, a 20-minute interview will likely need at least 40 minutes of preparation. In this sprint, we're going to teach you what information you should focus in order to prepare for an interview. Job descriptions and postings, along with a company's website, can be a cheat sheet of sorts, giving you insight into what a company prioritizes and is looking for. Regardless of the type of interview, a well-prepared interviewee will know the who, what, when, where locationally, or where as in clothing wear, why, and how ahead of their interview. Who answers the question, who is the company, and who is your interviewer, viewer, or interviewers? Use resources like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, YouTube, podcasts, and Google to look up the company and individual or individuals you'll be speaking to. Knowing the what means you'll understand the product, service, and industry the company is focused on. You'll likely be asked questions related to the service and product, so never enter an interview without having a general idea of what the company does. Many companies will ask, what do you know about what we do? Or what do you know about our product? The why is where you learn more about the reason behind a company's product or service. It's their purpose. Look through the company's website to discover their professed mission, vision, and values. Be able to connect to their why if they ask, why are you interested in working here? How focuses in on the many ways in which the company can create, develop, and disseminate their product or service. Break down the job description to understand the role's contribution to the how. The company's tech stack, tools, partnerships, and platforms are encompassed in how they create their product or service. So make sure you know this information. If you cannot find this information, make it a point to inquire more about it. Where, as in clothing wear, is concerned with logistics. When and where is the interview happening? This can be over video, phone, or in person in a variety of settings. The answers to these questions can change your strategy for prep. For example, an in-person interview will require you to logistically figure out how you're going to get to a specific location and what you're going to wear. As you prepare for an interview, you'll likely start to wonder a few things about how a company does what they do or what it's like to work there. Jot down questions as they come to mind so that you can ask them of your interviewer. You should always have questions for anyone who interviews you. Remember, you're interviewing the company as you try to determine if it's a place where you'd like to work. Identifying who is conducting your interview will help you develop questions appropriate to their area or level of expertise. I would not ask an HR recruiter conducting my general phone screen in-depth questions about the tech stack the company uses. Let's walk through some examples of questions based on interviewer type. When interfacing with a recruiter or HR professional, remember their role is to assist in facilitating the hiring and talent of professionals across departments. So they're not always focused on one professional type. Someone interviewing you as a recruiter may not have the technical expertise related to your field. Instead, they have a general set of preferences, qualifications, or requirements they're screening for before moving you forward in the interview process. Questions appropriate for recruiters or HR professionals will be more organizationally based. You'll see some examples of organizational type questions on the screen. You can ask them, why has this position become available? Is this a new role? Or what does the interview process and timeline look like for this role? As you progress in interview rounds, you'll find some companies have you interview with individuals who are part of the team you'll be joining or part of departments whose work overlaps with the role. In this situation, it's more likely they have insight and knowledge of the technical and day-to-day work you'll be doing. When preparing questions for future coworkers, inquire what their title is before the interview so that you can prepare appropriate questions. If you know they have technical knowledge, feel free to ask them more technically related questions. On the screen, you'll find a few general questions you can ask potential coworkers regardless of their technical expertise, like that of, have you been able to develop professionally in your role here? Or what do you most enjoy about working here? What do you find challenging? One of the most important working relationships you'll have at any company is with your manager. This relationship can often make or break your experience. Getting to know the person who you'll be reporting to can be an incredibly informative part of the interview process as you decide if a company is a fit for you. Not all descriptions formally outline who supervises the role they have open, but don't be afraid to inquire if this information is unclear. If you have the chance to interview one-on-one with a potential supervisor, be open about wanting to get to know them better by asking pointed questions. You can ask them questions like, How would you describe your management style or philosophy? What are your professional strengths and weaknesses? Some of the example questions that we have up here may feel like questions you'd be asked in an interview, and that's because you should be trying to get to know the company and your supervisor just like they are trying to get to know you. Ask the questions that will help you determine if you want to work for that company or that individual person. I hope you found this information to be helpful. Looking forward to helping you guys learn more about interview etiquette in class.